Strength Warehouse presents Go Heavy or Go Home podcast. I am your host, Nate Boley. In this podcast, we talk about strength, fitness, nutrition, and all things Strength Warehouse related. Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. We always enjoy you guys listening and following along with us and participating. Today we have a member spotlight podcast, and we are going to be interviewing Janet. She's one of our members and also started on her powerlifting journey this year. So I'm just going to introduce her and then we'll get right into it, all right? Hey Janet, welcome to the podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So just go ahead and give me a little background about you.
A little background, from England originally, and lived in Bend now for 10 years.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah.
I've been here in Bend for about 13.
Okay.
But I grew up in Sisters, so not too far.
Right, it's not too far away, yeah.
But cool. And then you've been in competitive sports, but not lifting, right?
Yes. I was a gymnast growing up, and then as an adult I moved into triathlons. Cool. And did half Ironmans, and then just recently got into mountain biking, though not competitively, just competitively with myself.
Sounds like you're a very competitive person,
Yeah.
like at least for yourself, right?
Oh yes,
Cool.
Everything's a competition.
Yeah, that's cool. I think it keeps you motivated a little bit, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. How'd you find Strength Warehouse?
Well, I was looking for a gym that was nearby, a smaller gym, and I did a search, came up with a couple of options.
Nice.
Came to visit you,
Mm-hmm. I remember.
And then just loved it, loved the atmosphere, and never went to visit the other gyms.
Cool. Obviously, I said something right.
Yes.
Right? That's awesome. Cool. What were your goals when you first started with Strength Warehouse, and have they changed?
My goals, I think, initially was to lose weight, and just keep up some level of fitness.
Mm-hmm.
But I used to work out a lot, and it was mostly cardio based with some weights in it, and that was my thinking, was to keep me fit for on my bike. I wanted to be strong and
Sure.
Powerful on my bike. And as I've gotten older, I realize now that I need to change that focus a little bit, and so my goals then became more weightlifting to help with bone density as I age, and then just to build up some still power and strength for my bike.
Absolutely.
But the cardio is taking a backseat more now to the lifting.
Yeah, at least during like your gym time, right? Because you're still out there doing cardio stuff with your mountain biking and all that type of stuff.
Yes, still out there biking as much as I can. But
were you doing mountain biking while you're doing the strength training and cardio, and then you've switched over, so you have an aspect of like how it was in both? Does that make sense?
yes, I was mountain biking and going to this other gym, and it was very much plyometrics and then a little bit of lifting.
Got it.
And felt great on my bike, but then as my body's changed, that didn't work so well.
Sure.
Then, and so
So you've seen a big improvement with just strength training on the mountain bike?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I definitely see that when I'm like, oh no, there's a hill. I've got to power through this hill, and there's maybe rocks or something. You really have to be able to like power down with your leg, or even sometimes I've had to pick up my bike and carry it. Have you had to do that?
Oh yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
But you have to do it sometimes. Cool. So, and now have your goals changed?
Well, I mean, my goals now, really, I want to be able to support my body as I age, and because I don't feel like I'm getting any older. I feel mentally like I'm younger.
That's cool. That's great.
My body doesn't always feel that way. So yeah, my goals really now are to help support my body, to do what I can for my body to help me feel powerful and strong.
That's awesome. I always tell my wife that I feel like a spring chicken, but she's like, I think that you're probably more like a summer or fall chicken. I'm like, thanks a lot. But I'm still that spring chicken. Cool. So you competed in your first powerlifting meet. How was that?
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
I really had no idea what I was getting myself into.
For sure. I remember you were a little nervous.
I watched some old meets on YouTube just to try and get an idea of what it was like, but you have no idea until you get there really what it's like.
For sure. Yeah.
But it was fantastic. It was so motivating, and the people around me were encouraging and supportive, and I felt really empowered
Yeah.
and strong, and it was a really fantastic experience.
That's so good to hear. Yeah, we really pride ourselves in our meets specifically to make sure that kind of like experience happens. You know, loud music, good MCs, lots of people yelling, stuff like that. Good time. So I'm glad. And your numbers, how were those? I mean, comparatively to what you thought they were going to be.
Oh, well, the adrenaline definitely kicks in, and so yeah, my numbers were up from what I had expected. I have some numbers on the board, and my goal really was just to try and beat them a little bit, and I did.
Yeah.
So I was really
So
happy
for
about
the
that.
listeners who don't know, we have a PR board in our gym, and only one person can be in each weight class for squat, bench, and deadlift. So we do make a big deal out of it when somebody reaches those or gets to take somebody else's space. Because we use it as like a motivation, like, oh no, that person beat me, I got to get back in there and hit it harder. So yeah, that's what our board is. On Janet, did you get on the board right before the powerlifting meet?
I've been on the board for a little bit now,
Okay,
but
Nice.
I had
That's
to
awesome.
just. My
Those
goal
are like
was,
that was your baseline. You wanted
that
to
was
beat
my
those.
baseline, was to beat those numbers.
That's awesome, and you did fairly well, and you ended up qualifying for
For
nationals
nationals.
and worlds.
Yes.
Which is pretty awesome for your first one.
Right.
Most people are like, I can't do it because XYZ, or I don't feel like I'm competitive enough, and then you come up there and just like destroy the platform. You like left it on fire. It was awesome. Cool. And so you have some more competitions that you're looking into?
Yes, I really, I mean, that's just got me fired up now after doing that one, that I definitely am going to register for the July meet here.
Cool, yeah.
And then hopefully that will go well and we can see what's next.
Yeah.
But I love having a goal and something on the calendar to work towards.
Absolutely.
And so for now it's the July one, and then after that, well, whatever.
That's
I don't
great.
know.
Yeah, whatever's next.
Yeah.
Yeah. We do have the October Masters Cup only in October in Sisters. So that's going to be, because their USPA, United States Powerlifting Association, is creating their own like Masters only all the way up to Worlds. So you can do like regular meets, like North Americans, Nationals, and then Worlds. So we're going to piggyback off that because they're starting it next year. I was like, well, why don't we do an October meet, which I talked to the president. He's like, that'll be perfect because then those people can hit that meet and qualify them for the next meets going forward. And I was like, that's awesome. So
Yeah.
it'll be Submasters and up only in October,
Okay.
which is kind of cool because I feel like in a regular meet, I've been to a lot of them, but the older lifters, they don't get like a lot of spotlight. And I was like, why don't we just make them their own meet so they could have like the whole time they're in the spotlight? Because I think it's really awesome.
I think that's a
We did
great
have
idea.
last weekend there was an 87-year-old guy that competed and ended up taking a national record. It was so cool, but he was strong. I mean, his deadlift was like 380 or something like that.
Wow.
I was like, dude, what the heck?
I don't see myself as a 50-something-year-old
Yeah,
lifter.
for sure.
I feel like I'm younger than that, and so
That's
yeah,
great.
I want to get out there and lift just like the young ones do.
Absolutely, yeah, totally, yeah, and they give you a little bit of motivation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I know a competition was something that you've done in the past, but powerlifting really wasn't in your wheelhouse. Like, what made you actually decide I'm going to do this?
I was looking for a goal. I can't run anymore since I tore my Achilles
Yeah.
playing pickleball, because that's a
I didn't know.
dangerous.
I guess I didn't know you did that.
I did.
Yeah, when did you do that?
Last year.
Okay.
So I can't run anymore. So triathlons is.
Was it like a
out.
full tear?
No,
Oh,
partial tear.
thank God,
thank
yeah.
goodness.
Yeah.
But can't really run, so I needed something to work towards. And when I came here and I started lifting, and one of the coaches said, gosh, have you ever thought about doing a meet?
Yeah.
I was like, no.
Yeah.
Don't be
No,
silly.
come on.
And it just went from there, and then I thought, well, why not?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, how come not me?
Yeah, it kind of goes towards my goals. I want to get stronger, and why not have something to work towards?
Yeah.
And
So is the like we were kind of helping you curtail to getting you on the platform. I think we do that really good with everybody. We're like, hey, we're going to try to get you on the platform. Everybody that comes to the gym,
Yeah.
at least once, whether you're going to, referee or spectate or whatever, just help facilitate the meet or actually do it. We'll try to get you on there for sure. Yeah.
I think it's a great idea. I mean, I don't like being in the spotlight. I would leading up to the meet, I was thinking I would really like to be able to just slink onto the platform, do my lift, and slink off again.
Yeah.
But that's not the case.
No.
And
unless you were that one lady. You remember that one older lady that was in April, and she just like walked up, picked up the bar, put it back down, walked off. Like
right.
That was pretty much what you were thinking about doing,
right,
but you didn't. Yeah, you didn't do that. Yeah,
didn't do that, and I'm glad I didn't. It's having everybody there and cheering you on and shouting your name really helps.
It helps a lot. I know. Yeah, even though sometimes like I get super tunnel vision and like hearing, I don't hear anything when I'm on the platform. I barely hear the commands. And I'm just like, I just watch. And I've been doing it so long, I pretty much know. But you do have to wait for the people to say the stuff.
Yes, and I think that I was very conscious of waiting for the instructions. But when I got up onto the platform, I blocked everything out.
Yeah.
I can see people there, but I couldn't see them there.
Mm-hmm. Same, exactly. It's kind of like it's all just hyper tunnel focused on the head referee.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's like, I think, how you should really approach it. Because if you start looking out in the crowd, you're like, oh crap, everybody's looking at me.
Right.
Have you found value in getting coaching and having a team that helped you through the whole process?
Oh, definitely. I couldn't have got to where I am without Coach Mike. He had a plan. Once I told him that this was what my goal was, he had a plan for me, and we went ahead with this plan. And having you and Megan and even Karen, one of the other members, she was at the meet encouraging me, but having that support around me is definitely what boosted me to do this. I could not have done it by myself.
Yeah. I see that a lot with like new lifters, and I'm like, man, you can just tell when I'm like refereeing or meet directing or whatever, or even coaching, you can see just the difference in performance and how in people's day if they have like a team behind them versus somebody that just walked up solo and did everything themselves. It's just night and day difference where they're not going to like miss commands. They're going to have a really good time. They're going to know exactly what they did wrong for the most part and all that type of stuff. That's awesome.
Just getting little cues.
Yeah.
Karen had done a meet in the past, and so she would just give me a little tip before I went out onto the platform, and it would remind me of what I'm supposed to do, and that was really helpful.
Yeah. And I think that goes back into how we at the gym here really, and I think Mike has done a really good job on this, but if you do everything right in the gym as you're going to do it on the platform, when you get into like just block everything out, it's just you've done it so many times that it's just second nature. Right. So it's like getting on the platform, doing the timer, putting your gear on, all that different stuff, like 90 degrees in the squat. If you don't practice that type of stuff, you get on there and it's all new, like you can't really expect to do that good, right? On the platform. So you got to do everything good going up to the meet.
Yeah, I was clueless going into this, didn't know anything about the commands, what I'm supposed to wear, what my positions were supposed to be, anything like that. And so Mike ran through all of that with me, and then we practiced it every single time that came in. Yeah,
that's awesome. Cool. What would you tell somebody who is thinking about doing a powerlifting competition but hasn't gone down that road yet?
Oh, I'd say you just have to try it. I mean, it's so empowering and so motivating that you just have to give it a shot. You don't know what it's like unless you try.
Right.
My dad always used to give me this advice: go try it, because you don't know unless you.
For sure. You may love it.
Yeah. So, and if you don't, then oh well, at least you can pat yourself on the back and say, I gave it a shot.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you won't know unless you go out there and try. So I'd say just get a coach, come in here, and give it a shot.
Yeah, absolutely. I think powerlifting meets in general, just going to one is empowering. Like I just refereed last weekend, and Sunday I came in here and I was supposed to do like RPE 8 for my deadlift, and I put on like too much weight. I was supposed to do like around 560. I was like, I want to try 600. So I tried I put it on there, took a picture of it, sent it to my coach, and I was like, what do you think? And he's like, nope, don't do it. Like, fine. So I didn't, and I went back and I did the 565 or whatever it was, and it was spot on RPE, I was like, dang it, man. I was like, I could have done that 600, and that was for 3. But I would have overshot the RPE, and then it wouldn't have, the peak wouldn't have been the right spot. So yeah, having the coach, being there, making sure, even myself who's been doing it for 17 years, I still get all amped up and fired up, and then the next day I'm like, let's try to max out as much as we can. It's not the way to do it.
Right.
Cool. How has your view on strength training changed since you joined us, if it has? And if it has, how so?
I think before I came here, I thought that the gym was a really daunting place.
Sure.
Just full of very big, muscly men.
Yeah.
And I had no clue how to use the equipment, really.
Mm-hmm.
And it still is a place full of big, muscly men, but it's not as daunting anymore because now I have an idea of what I need to do and how to use the equipment. So my views have changed that it's not just full of big men, but it's full of really powerful women too. And that is fantastic.
Yeah.
There needs to be more women in the gyms.
100%.
Because you don't know what you're capable of until you come here and try it.
Yeah. We actually have some ridiculously strong women in this gym. And I would say some of them are stronger than like a lot of our guys. But we have seen like a big shift, kind of more women are getting into it, which is great. I love it. So that's awesome. But cool. Anything else that you would like to, put out there for our listeners or members that are potentially thinking about getting into a strength routine or joining a powerlifting meet or anything like that?
I think just from being in my 50s now, that my advice would be to other women that are starting to age that you just need to start looking at a different way to get fit. Because it used to be go out and do cardio and that's how you would drop the weight and that's how you would feel better about yourself. But this, coming to the gym, it's more about lifting weights, helping build that bone density, talking about your nutrition, and you put those two things together with the motivation, and it's huge. It makes a really big difference.
It does, absolutely.
So I would definitely encourage anybody, but mostly women that are starting to age, just to go out and try it. Yeah, absolutely.
And I think the bone density thing is really, really key. I've heard of studies, I haven't read them, but overloading with weights, like powerlifting type stuff, even if it's weightlifting, like cleans and stuff like that, can up bone density from like 3 to 8%, which is really huge for, especially if women and men are actually seeing a lot more osteoporosis these days. 1% bone loss is pretty huge. So if you can go up 3 to 8% before you start having those, you can have a big advantage for for osteoporosis and stuff. And then building muscle not only burns calories while you're working out, but it keeps that metabolism going. It takes more calories to keep muscle mass on you, so you burn fat and calories much longer than just the cardio aspect of it. And I don't know where that got shifted back in the day, but it did, and it was kind of something that we need to really, cardio is great for you, don't get me wrong, you got to do it, but it shouldn't be your primary focus for like weight loss and stuff like that. Right, I totally agree with that. I want to keep lifting to build my strength and keep that power going, because I want to keep taking on new challenges and 100%.
Going out on adventures and setting new goals. I feel like I haven't reached my full potential yet. So.
Not even close. Yeah, that's awesome. Do you do any like hiking or anything like that, or is it just strictly mountain biking stuff?
All kinds of biking, mostly mountain biking.
Cool.
With my badass women that we all bike together, but
that's cool.
I gravel bike, road bike as well, hike, kayak.
That's pretty big, the gravel biking stuff. Do you have is it like the big fatter tires, or?
They're slightly bigger than a road bike, but thinner than a mountain bike.
Got it.
And it's great because you can stay off the roads. You don't feel as vulnerable around the cars.
I absolutely hate riding my bike on the highways or the roads. It's scary.
There's so many roads around here, Forest Service roads, that you can access on a gravel bike.
For sure.
You can go longer distances, so really like to do that.
Cool. Awesome. That's great. All right, guys. Well, I think that's all we have for you today. Thanks, Janet, very much for joining us, and we can't wait to see what your powerlifting career has in store for you. I think it's going to be awesome. I think nationals and then worlds are in there for you.
I think so.
Yeah, that's awesome. Cool.
As long as it's worlds in some nice tropical destination.
You don't want to go to England, Coventry, England in October when it's going to be rainy. That's where we're going in October, but I don't know. They always do it like, actually last year they did it in New Zealand, which was awesome. That would have been perfect.
That would have been great.
Yeah, that would have been awesome to go to. But maybe next year they'll have it somewhere where it's super cool like that.
Yeah.
But all right, guys, thanks a lot for joining us today, and we'll see you on the other side. Thanks for joining us on this epic journey of strength. If you liked this episode, please leave us a review and share with a friend. To stay connected, hit that subscribe button. All right, until next time, go heavy or go home.